A to the K.
A to the K.
A to the K.
Hello, one and all. Welcome to the A2theK Wrestling Show, where today we're coming at you with some extreme rules predictions, Generation X,
All that shit.
yeah, all that good stuff. And firstly, a damn lot more extreme than last year's Extreme Rules. Which
It
is
seems to be one of the better Extreme. Like, you remember we had the Haunted House at Extreme Rules or whatever the fuck they called it? That was a bit weird. Was it something like a...
That's like NXT shit. That's got to be.
Nah, there was definitely like. Okay, let's start this right. I'm gonna fucking.
Let's do like we normally do on these segments. I sit here like this while Anthony Googles things.
You vamp, because I'm gonna prove myself right.
Yeah. So, you know, every single match that they put together this year is definitely got an extreme element to it, if you will, and only 6 matches, but ones which I'm sincerely looking forward to.
You know, apparently, no Roman Reigns. Is that about?
So if you were lucky enough to catch the news segment this week, Answer's like, well, my theory is when Roman does his match, and I was like, well, what's it call it though?
Fuck off.
Haunted House, the horror show. Oh yeah.
It's the same thing.
Is it though? I mean, this has turned into a horror show. We're not even, you know.
I like to think we're showing a more approachable and casual style. That's what I like to think.
You know, we finally made it big enough to be on Pro Wrestling TV. And we just stopped giving a fuck.
I would just got off.
And I was just like, Anthony Google things, Anthony's on Wikipedia, etc. It's all you, actually. That's the common denominator here.
It's gonna be. It's one of the things where you replace me without saying a word.
No,
like next week, he's even called Anthony the other guy, right?
Well, it's gotta work.
And you just
right?
don't acknowledge it on air,
Yeah.
like. They just act like it was the same person.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it's going to go.
I miss you all.
So obviously 6 matches announced, and every single one of them got a stipulation, which is a vast improvement over the previous year. And they're matches that I'm actually quite looking forward to.
Oh yeah.
So
it's a solid card, bar. You know, no main title. Whatever.
Yeah. Other than that, but
I mean, let's appreciate that. The IC titles actually seen on a pay-per-view. That's nice.
I know it's a rarity these days, which is a shame, isn't it? But we are getting Intercontinental Champion whilst it's not being defended.
I mean, I appreciate that, but that's why I was careful to say seen on.
Yeah,
because there's been times we just haven't even seen them.
This is true. I think the IC title went like nearly a year, if not more, without being defended.
It's a shame because there was a time you'd be like, I can't even remember what the IC title looks like, and then. You look at it and go, God. Actually, I'm kind of glad that I couldn't.
I'm glad I didn't have to look at this every week. But we are getting, for the first match to talk about this week, we are getting the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. A bit of faction wars going for you here.
I like that they give them a name now.
Yeah, Imperium.
I mean, has Butch got his name back? I believe you said he's got his name back now, haven't you?
He's got his look back. I don't know whether he's still called Butch.
Didn't you say it was Pete Butch Dunn now rather than just being...
Maybe. I haven't watched this last SmackDown.
Rather
I don't know
than
how
being Scrappy Doo.
Referring to him, to be fair. But yeah, he needs to get back to
Butch
his
didn't
stuff.
work.
But, I mean, that in itself, this whole kind of story around Butch and how it's all changing and stuff like that, could be the catalyst for how this match plays out, to be fair. I mean, firstly, what are your thoughts from a result standpoint? Because obviously you had Gunther beating Sheamus most recently at Clash at the Castle. You had a rematch on SmackDown, and Gunther won that one as well. So is it finally Sheamus' turn to get the win here?
I think it is. And I think it's a little bit of a shame because I actually would have liked to have seen Sheamus get the IC title again. I know it might not be a popular opinion there, but he's been on an absolute tear lately, and I think he could do with another title run under his belt. Fuck it, why not? And I think the fact that this isn't for the title. I'm just going to overpronounce that.
Right, Sheamus Mark or what?
Yeah, I think because it's for the title. It's not for the title. It's not, right, and that's why he's probably going to get the win because it doesn't have a bit like a consequence on the IC title.
Yeah, I was to and fro with this one quite a bit. Part of me thinks that this might be where the Brawling Brutes could disband. So this is where, you know, Pete Dunne does go back to Pete Dunne because he's no longer Scrappy Doo as part of this.
I kind of really want a feud between Pete Dunne and Sheamus, though.
I mean, that's what I mean. So
yes,
this
please.
could be the the reason why Imperium get the win here is because they implode on each other, and then it's almost like it's the end of that. Because it's like, has it run its course now? I kind of think it has, because these are the only two factions really that they've got at the moment, and it's like, well, can't keep these going forever.
And they've only just put Imperium back together, so it's not going to be them, is it?
No. So I do believe we might see Imperium pick up the win, but only as a result of them imploding on each other. I do believe. So
yeah, I like that.
That's probably where I'm going to go with this one, to be fair.
Right,
and you gonna stick?
I'm sticking with the Brawling Brutes taking the win.
Okay. Already?
I mean, I'm still with you on the potential for an implosion of the faction, but I don't think it's going to be on the back of them losing.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So the next one to talk about, and it's a shame to see this one. I mean, obviously we don't know what the match order is going to be, but we've put this in the order of, I suppose, importance or how big it feels, you know, and you know, not the first time I do things like this. I'd like to refer to things by, you know, how big they feel and actually how big they
That's
are.
how you prioritise.
But essentially, we've got Drew McIntyre taking on Karrion Kross, which this one has been getting teased for a while, hasn't it? You know, all the way back to the water bottle throwing incident at Clash of the Castle, which we enjoyed so much. So yeah. Hey, whoa. Easy now, big fella.
I'm not trying to, like, I really like Karrion, especially in this gimmick. I just don't want him to. Like, the water bottle thing really soured me to him feuding with Drew. Like,
imagine
it's
that.
like,
his push ends because of the water bottle.
Like, stop it, Karrion, he's much bigger than you. like yeah. 7 foot tall and Karrion's not. Yeah. Right? The size difference is just too jarring for me. Like,
that's what she said.
And hey, and the water ball thing did nothing for his tough guy image. No. Like, I'm gonna buy a ticket. I'm gonna sit here front row, and then I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
like, time and money well spent.
Yeah, it was not great, but it's an interesting one. This because can you have Karrion Kross lose this? I feel so bad. Anyone?
If I'm being realistic, if I was playing this to win, I would say Karrion's gonna win. Right, that's what I do for my prediction. But I'm going to vote with what I truly think should happen, and it should be Drew.
Yeah, I mean, I love Drew McIntyre.
I know you do.
Love him.
Can't get enough.
But I can't see him picking up the win in this one. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be a clean victory for Kross. I think Scarlett or something. It's going to be another one of them. Fucking Drew getting fucked over things. Remember how shit it was at that WrestleMania where well,
oh no, that almost skinned my face.
He's fucking. Practically a Pokemon trainer at this point, and he's done the water, now he's doing the fire. Next thing, fucking
it's gonna be a cactus or something thrown at him.
And then electricity, and he'll just, shock him. But I've lost my train of thought now. Oh yeah, WrestleMania. How fucky was that finish with Drew versus Bobby, and MVP's just like, and Drew's like, I'm so distracted. Yeah, and he just, you know what I mean? Something similar I can see absolutely.
It's like Drew's new gimmick. Easily distracted.
Yeah. Easily distracted.
Eventually,
it's Drew.
Eventually, it'd be mid promo, like, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna.
Yeah, it just slowly turns into something awful. But no, I think Scarlett is gonna get involved here. There's gonna be some hijinks. I mean, could this be where the White Rabbit makes their appearance?
Or could Drew be the White Rabbit?
What? And I won't go into that too much because we'll talk about that at the end. But it's an option. We know Karrion was going by White Rabbit at one point. We know he's been linked around this kind of thing, so you never know. But for the purpose of the predictions, I can't see it being anyone other than Karrion at this point because it would be almost, as bad as bringing him up to the main roster on Raw as a gladiator and having him lose to Jeff Hardy.
What if the Brawling Brutes come out and help Drew? Judgment Day come out and help Karrion. Faction v faction. Judgment Day get the upper hand alongside Karrion, obviously. The White Rabbit reveals himself.
Put it away. Do you know what?
You want to see a White Rabbit, don't you?
Do you know what, though? That's genius. Because we are getting War Games. Sorry. War Games!
Nice.
At Survivor Series. And it's pretty clear where the women's match is going at the moment, with obviously Damage Control and the little factions.
Ground Control.
Yeah, Ground Control and Major Tom. Whereas this could be how we get there. But you'd have to explain whole Judgment Day, to a Raw guys mixing with Smack. I suppose.
You got your SmackDown
Still
in my Raw
series.
Come on, it's all good.
Yeah, I like that, to be fair. But yeah,
Thanks.
I'm gonna go with Karrion on this one.
I researched and I knew the card well, and I had some real good thoughts.
Yes, always. I've never doubted you. Yeah, I'm going for Karrion. Who are you going for?
I'm going to vote Drew.
Okay,
But Scarlett's going to be there, so that's good.
It's always good. So the next match to talk about, which gets its own weird red coloured graphic, which I've not quite understood, is we're getting an I Quit match between Edge and Finn Balor.
I don't care.
Okay, and the next,
I do not give a shit.
yeah, it's a shame. Have you seen the news at the moment of? You seen this? You seen this in the news? You seen this?
You read this? You heard about this?
Of apparently Finn Balor is due a monster push.
Okay.
I don't know why. He had a promo on Raw this week. It was awful. So great, but that makes me think. Is he going to get the win here?
I think what's going to happen, Edge is going to come out looking like the Viking who had a haircut just like he does right now. And Drew, no, not Drew, the other guy, Finn, is going to come out as the Demon. And everyone's going to be like, oh my god, it's the Demon! And he's obviously going to win.
Okay. Don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
But I would love to see the Demon because he's better than, QT.
What if he comes out as the Demon, but he's got bunny ears?
Whoa.
So everyone's like, oh, he's the White Rabbit.
Could be. Imagine if it is just some kind of Judgment Day tease and it's just a new member for that or something. Imagine that would be.
I really hope Judgment Day had nothing to do with it, but the colour scheme of the Hangman game and the X's that looked suspiciously like Finn's X's, when he's crossing out his name slowly.
How many X's has Finn got?
Well, all his X's live in Texas and all that much.
Oh, okay.
Where was I? Oh yeah, so I feel like they probably are going to be connected to it, sadly. But you know what? If anyone can save the Judgment Day, it'll be the obvious Bray Wyatt that the White Rabbit.
Interesting. The thing that is throwing me on this one is it's an I Quit match, and I can't see them booking Edge to say the words I quit.
He's got no quit in him.
That's like all he's about, isn't it? It's his whole gimmick. He's going to have a proper cheesy moment. That's DDP.
Where he's like, "Hi," and you're like, "Oh, he's going to say, I don't quit." And I was like, "Yeah, we're going to get fucking cheese, so much cheese." But
that's what I mean. I can't see Edge uttering them words. So, but at the same time, how are they gonna build up Finn if you believe what's reported? If then he's like, I quit.
This is me the last loss that he has before they build him up.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. Like, for me, I don't put this without sounding like I have nothing against Finn, right? But I don't know why they want to push him right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense now, does it? Like, there was times when, even back, you could argue when he was in NXT, is like Mr. Fingerbank. Mr. Fingerbank. You could argue that was better than now. Like, for me, Damian Priest is still the guy in that stable.
Oh yeah, not a doubt.
So, but hey ho.
But I don't know. I'm looking at it like right now. He's useful in that faction as much as I'm not a big fan of the Judgment Day. I know some people are. He's a great addition to that group. But what's the push entail? Usually when they push someone, not the team. Are they going to push him to the title scene? Or are we just going to look and go, well, we've already got Drew?
Can you imagine if they do something so stupid and they have like Rey Mysterio come down to try and plead with Dominic or something, and then Rey turns on Edge as a way to try and win his son back? Or something? You know what I mean? Yeah. Can you imagine something stupid like that? Like the funny thing is, this is like maybe the second prediction show that we've done since Triple H has been involved. So it gets a lot more difficult to predict the stupidity. Because for Vince, we kind of knew what we were getting for years. It was like, he's going to do something like this. But Triple H, you kind of have that thing where you never really know. And it's one of them. I genuinely can't see Edge saying the words I quit. But at the same time, if anyone's going to go away for a while after this, it's going to be Edge again, isn't it?
Let's be honest. They're going to make Edge go away again because Finn's going to hospitalise him trying to get him to say it. He'll never say it. The ambulance will come, they put him on a stretcher with the thing, and be like, he's broken his neck, because we have to mention a neck every time it's Edge, right? And you're going to have maybe a spot where Finn's like, say it, and he won't say it. That's what's going to... He's not going to actually
That's what I mean. I can't... I think Finn's going to win it, but I can't see Edge uttering them words.
Finn with the win.
Some kind Finn gets the win. So some kind of fucky finish, I would say.
Austin Theory comes down, cashes in. On what? We don't know.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's my judgment day now.
I get the scales. Okay. So the next one to talk about, we're getting a fight pit.
I'm a little unsure about this.
Okay.
And this is no disrespect to Seth, right? But the last time we had a fight pit, it was him and what's his face?
God, what was his name? NXT fella.
Yeah, but the point is, because I can't remember his name, I sincerely apologise for that. They both had a mixed martial arts background.
Yes.
So the fight bit kind of organically happened of like, well, they both would go a little bit more shooty fight-wise, you know? And I'm sure that Seth can, but has Seth got a US, like a martial arts background that will lead into it? Yeah.
Might do some like chin-ups on the side of the cage. I don't know.
I'm sure it's going to be a good
Thatcher.
match. Why did you shout Thatcher at me?
Wasn't that the other guy's name?
Yeah, it was.
That was his first name.
You know, that really memorable
Thatcher,
guy.
naked
It's like, we're going to take a brief break while Carl has a stroke.
Yes. Apologies. Yes. That Thatcher guy. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. But that's the... Yeah. What was his other fucking name? But yeah, he did... Remember, he did segments for weeks at was it Thatcher's Thatch Can or something like that, and he was teaching people moves, and he was just basically bullying people. Anyway, yeah, so that match made a lot of sense to me, and I'm not saying Seth won't do well in this match. You know, and you just like, I don't know, like, does the fight pit style really suit? I suppose.
Yeah, it's a good point. Because it did make so much sense, and it makes sense for Riddle, and it makes sense to have Daniel Cormier in a special guest referee. But maybe that's the perfect thing to have Rollins lose this one, because we thought for certain last time that Riddle was going to win, didn't we? And
yeah, it seemed like he's angry and he's going to...
It was like, how has he still lost this after all that? And because it's ironic, really, that they brought Cormier in to do this, because the whole little segment they had, the little spat with... Riddle and Rollins, where they would go and attacking each other's families. That was Daniel Cormier and John Jones, the real life version that they ripped off. So he's very intertwined in this, which is interesting. But
yeah, I think on that basis, as you say, I think this has got to be Riddle's match.
It has to be, doesn't it? It's long overdue. But yeah, unfortunately, another loss for Seth. But I suppose in these circumstances, it would make the most sense. But you've got to think: is Daniel Cormier going to get involved in this? Is he going to be played down the middle?
Well, I don't know, because correct me if I'm wrong, the fight pit isn't Cormier on the top edge? Like, he's not actually in the ring with them, is he?
No, maybe not.
Remember when Kurt did it? And he was like, they had like a platform around the top that they were like...
Yeah, looking in.
Yeah,
maybe.
So I don't know how much he can get involved. Unless, like you say, maybe more of an after the match shenanigans to set up him and Brock, which I do think is a solid idea.
On the fair, like, can you win by pinfall and stuff in it? Is it just knockout?
I think you can win by pinfall.
Can you? Pinfall, knockout, or submission. Okay, interesting. But yeah, it's got to go to Riddle, isn't it? It's about time.
Gotta be. I'll be disappointed if it's not.
Yeah, and hopefully this is the end for the pair of them.
This is the end.
We will see. So it takes us on to our penultimate match. Only 6 matches on this card, and we're talking Bianca Belair versus Bayley, and this one is a ladder match.
I think, and it doesn't have to be a straight win, right? But I think Bayley's going to win this.
I agree.
And I kind of want Bayley to win this.
I agree.
And there's no disrespect to Bianca Belair's run as a women's champion, but they can protect Bianca as a champion in a sense, because she can definitely screw her over to get this win.
Yes. I mean, the fact is that it's a ladder match. I mean, she doesn't have to eat a pin. She doesn't have to give up. Doesn't have to... Literally, they could just have damage control stand on the ladder while she's buried under it, and then she climbs up and wins.
Exactly.
It's the easiest way to...
Set up an inevitable rematch, even if it's down the line. But I think Bayley coming back with the response she's had, and it's like to build up this damage control faction as a credible threat, I think this is what needs to happen.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I mean, the problem, well, not necessarily the problem. The thing I'm trying to understand is we're in October now, and WrestleMania is going to be in April,
right?
And, how do we, if we take the title off Bianca, how do we get the title back on Bianca ahead of WrestleMania?
You need it to be on it.
Well, the rumoured matches we're going to see is it's going to be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, and it's going to be Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair.
It's been so long since we've done that.
So, yeah. I mean, obviously things can change, but you'd have to think.
I mean, for me, I feel there's if the rumours of Sasha coming back are true, I feel like there's another Sasha Bayley match ready to happen here, and I think they want the title on Bayley for that kind of stuff to happen. I don't know how we get back to the whole Bianca situation for WrestleMania, but for me, I think Bayley's going to take the title, and we're going to set up maybe a returning Sasha to be her foil, if you will.
Yeah, I do think it's gone stale for Bianca. I wish it hadn't. Don't get me wrong, but it's the same kind of shtick every time she comes out.
I mean, this is no disrespect to her, and I know a lot of people love her gimmick, and to be honest, the WWE will realise that it's very marketable, especially with the younger crowd, much like they did with John Cena. But I think she needs to change up the gimmick now.
Yeah. Maybe she doesn't need to change it up massively. It's just there's only so many things that end in est, right? So it's like you can still be the same, strong,
But I think I'd love to see her as a heel. I'm not against the way she, again, it's marketable, so I understand that, she might not be everyone's cup of tea, but, after a while, the sort of skipping and spinning your hair stuff is like, it's happy and it's exuberant, but, you go, well, I think she'd probably make quite a good bad guy.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, I would like to see it. I can't see them pulling the trigger on it anytime soon. I think the comparison with Cena is a fascinating one because she is adored, especially by the younger crowds.
Understandably so.
And stuff like that, so they would be very hesitant, I think. But I'd love to see it, but I just don't think we're going to get to see it anytime soon.
You think she might be the stalest?
Stalest, yes. So we'll see. But for me, this match, as soon as we found out it was a ladder match, it was kind of tailor-made for Bianca to lose this in a way that isn't going to damage her too much, which is ironic. Damage control. They're going to control the damage.
They very much live up to their name.
Indeed. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Bayley, new champ on this one.
Cool, I agree.
Okay. Which takes us to what could potentially be our main events. The other one could have been as well. But it's the other women's title match, and we're getting Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey in an Extreme Rules match. The only Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules, Anthony.
I may be speaking out of hope here. I think Liv's going to win this. And I think this is Liv's opportunity to cement herself as a legit women's champion. Because she's already done a couple of spots lately where people have gone, fuck, that's impressive. And I think she's proven that she can be a champ. But I think this will be the thing that cements it. Like, they're going to go hard here. They're going to proper go for it, the pair of them, I reckon. And I think it's just going to prove to the haters that are left that Liv can hang.
Okay, interesting. I also think Liv will win.
We're agreeing an awful lot today.
We started off a complete opposite, and then we kind of ended up agreeing on practically everything else. But I don't know. I think I'm not sure what the fan reaction is going to be if Ronda does pick up the win here, and I understand Liv may be a little bit stale already as champion to a lot of people, but I just don't think it's right for Ronda to win it, and I think again, match stipulations make sense here.
I don't know. Like, for me, if we're using that analogy, Ronda winning it, it'd be like, oh, well, I don't want this stale bread. Let's have some stale bread.
Well, yeah, there is that. But no, you're right, definitely. But I feel like Liv probably couldn't beat Ronda in a straight up one-on-one match or a submission match or something like that, right? I think we can
I think if they'd have made a submission match and Liv won it, then it just feels stupid.
Exactly.
But the Extreme Rules stipulation makes me think, she's winning it.
Because she can have all the help she wants or needs, right?
It depends how extreme they go. She pulls out a knife and Ronda's like, whoa, right, you fucking win.
Lie down, bitch. Okay. So I think based on stipulation alone, then it makes the most sense that Liv could come out with the win here because, And
I would argue that her title run has been stale. I think it was getting to that point. I think she's had the last couple of defenses she's had have been solid, and as I say, she's done like the spot with the table not too long ago. As I think she's really making a point that she's here to be a champ, and I don't think it's stale at all. I think she's actually just starting to pick up some steam.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a lot of the.
You brought it up.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the typical fans. I think the way it started off, where like the first 2 or 3 weeks after she won the belt, was the same promo she was cutting before she won the belt about how she's always wanted to have the belt, right?
I love the people.
And it's like, how long can you do that for? But to your point, I feel like she has, especially like with the Shayna match, and then with like obviously the extreme angle to it. Like I think she's handling it really well. So I don't think now is the right time. But again, it's got to be
a little extreme underdog. She's a female Jeff Hardy.
Why do you even want her to win then? Hate that guy. So yeah, I don't know. I do think it's going to be Liv. But we'll come on to a very interesting theory I did have briefly in a sec about this match as well. But yeah, Liv. We're going with Liv.
Live and let live.
Okay. Which takes us on to the question. I should have had an image in here for it, but I didn't.
No, just a question mark. Always keep a question mark queued up in case we need it.
Who is the White Rabbit? And are we going to see the White Rabbit appear at the show?
I think we touched on this briefly before when we were doing the news for those who want to watch the news.
I don't know why for this one we decided to.
I think it can't be anyone other than Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't think they're in the business of shitting the bed at the moment, but I think WWE will massively shit the bed if they've let these rumours go on and they've seen so many people expecting it to be Bray. If they were not able to follow that through, they fucked up.
Yeah, massively.
Because nothing, and there's no offence to anyone else. I mentioned this before when I said the likes of Joe Gacy and that hinting that it could be them is just stupid because nobody wants that. It's not against them. It's against the fact that everybody wants it to be Bray.
Yeah.
Anything other than Bray is a disappointment. And that, it doesn't matter how good that person is.
Yeah.
It could be the fucking Rock. People will go, no, because we thought it was Bray.
I don't think WWE are stupid enough to let that happen. It's similar with like the Cody stuff where a lot of people were kind of like...
like when he stayed with AEW and...
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone thought. But it was like they started playing into the stuff and saying like Codyisms and all this kind of thing where it made you think, they've definitely got him, otherwise they wouldn't feed into it. And it's kind of like this with this now. Like if they didn't have Bray and it was getting close to it, they would have done something to shift that focus away from, it can't be Bray. So who else could it be? And create that intrigue again, but they haven't. Yeah. So
they leaned into it too much. And, for the time, I was like, Bray should go somewhere else. And, like Bray would be a great asset for any company. He really would. But let's face it, WWE was just home for 12 years? He's had some time off. There's been whatever's gone on there. To the point that he got released. They bear in mind how hesitant they were to actually release him. He wasn't one of the first on the chopping block. It didn't seem like he wanted to, and we never know the circumstances around it, whether it was like a mutual part, but he's a WWE guy. Let's be honest, he's a WWE guy. People could speculate, I'd be great in AEW. He probably would be great in AEW, but he's a WWE guy.
He is.
That'd be like Seth Rollins, probably be great in AEW, but he's not. He's a WWE guy.
Yeah. No, it's fair. I think I do agree with you. It's going to be Bray Wyatt. The thing I'm struggling with is if he rocks up at Extreme Rules based on this card, where does he rock up that makes sense? Because if you look, like it would be remiss of WWE not to put one of the women's.
It would be apropos
of WWE not to put one of the WWE women's title matches as the main event for a title. If they end it with like the I Quit match with Edge and Balor because it's something to do with Judgment Day, or they end it with Karrion and Drew because it's something to do with that. You know what I mean? Firstly, it'll give a lot away
because it, like you say, it adds a real level of disrespect, I suppose, to the women's title. Unless you go for something along the lines of like, this is where the faction stuff might help. Like, Rhea might set her sights on Liv's title. Let's say we end with Liv versus Mickey, and Rhea comes out, right? And then Judgment Day comes out. It ends up in a kerfuffle, and they make it clear that the White Rabbit is the leader of Judgment Day. Then you go, okay. Yeah. You can bring it in that way. You do the big reveal, we still got the main event.
Yeah.
Right? And we're also setting up Rhea versus Liv, which could be a decent match. And I know you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. Rhea's on Raw. I don't give a fuck. Well, just one example of like, I think they can still have the main event being the women's title, which is the right thing to do. but then have the shenanigans built around that.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. My wildy idea that I had was would Liv be Sister Abigail? That's how she beats Ronda Rousey.
It's extreme. I mean, that'd be pretty extreme.
So, like,
he turns up and see. The thing is, if it's Bray, right, and he rocks up and it's only Liv, you go, well, why did you ditch Alexa? Like, they didn't. I don't even know if they're gonna try and pay off the whole Alexa Fiend thing, because that kind of ended weirdly too.
Yeah,
like, he got distracted by like the whole crown of thorns and all that, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I think it's. I honestly think he's going to be involved in the Judgment Day.
Yeah, it's
however you build, and they obviously have a match. So it's however you build around that. But for me, you could have some shenanigans.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Though I'm finding it so difficult to place where this thing is going to happen, because if you can't put it anywhere before the end of the show. Because imagine you do the White Rabbit reveal, Bray Wyatt's back, and then you've got 2 or 3 more matches, or then you've got a main event. Following that's going to be like, right? So it has to be at the end of the show. So how do you, like, would it feel a bit weird to kind of have one of the women's title matches, the end of the match, right? And we'll see you guys tomorrow, and then all of a sudden it's lights go off, or something, or the lights turn red, and then he just comes out for no reason.
Well, you know what? Like, WWE are well prepared to disappoint us all, and the White Rabbit reveal is actually Charlotte Flair. You have the floor.
I said this. But no,
but again, that's no disrespect to Charlotte, but that will be a disappointment because so many people have set themselves up for it being Bray. I'm just trying to tie it into the women's title scene. You go, well, Charlotte could come out.
I'm like imagine, like, I think people would be fuming, but it'd be a hell of a swerve, wouldn't it? And it was something that
I see.
Oh right, maybe not swerve. But I remember at the time you asked me, like, okay, how the fuck did you get to Charlotte Flair? And I was like, I don't really know. But I can just picture, like, she's someone, we talk about stale gimmicks, the stalest, and Charlotte Flair, like, she's Ric Flair's daughter. That's it. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, it'd be good for her to have something a bit more evil and kind of something about her. She doesn't have to be like demonic or not, does she? But could be like an Alice in Wonderland type kind of crazy thing. I don't really know. But that being said, I do think it's going to be Bray, and I just can't see where they fit him in.
An interesting one.
Maybe we don't see him.
Honestly, like you say, the way we look at it, it's like it'd be a bad move to have him turn up and then go on to have more matches because people would be just rereeling.
Yeah.
You don't want your title match to be the one where you just go, I'm not even going to pay attention. Okay, that was
exactly.
I mean, that is the other thing we mentioned in the news earlier. Like, we know that there's maybe some payoff to the White Rabbit stuff, but we don't necessarily know that person's going to turn up. So if they make it clear that it's Bray in a segment, but he doesn't turn up, then that's not necessarily ruining the main event scene.
It's not, but does it feel like a bit of a damn script then? It'd be like all this stuff, and then we just get like a little thing to say who it is, and we don't actually see them.
It's literally just, it's Bray on a screen, and then that's that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's carry on. No, not you.
Karrion? Karrion Kross? So yeah, I
crack the code.
I genuinely don't know how they're going to do it, but it feels like everything's pointing to Extreme Rules, and I can't see what's going to happen. Maybe Roman does rock up for some reason at the end or something, and he comes out to cut a little thing, and then all of a sudden the White Rabbit thing happens. But then Roman's already got Logan Paul. Like, where does it fit in?
Roman comes out just because there's been a pay-per-view and he's not involved. He's like, acknowledge me!
Maybe there's like an unannounced match with Braun. Maybe Braun's part of it.
The abominable Strowman.
Yeah, genuinely don't know how they're going to do it, where they're going to fit it in, but it feels like it should be towards the end of the show. And I have no idea how they're going to get there, which again adds to the excitement or disappointment, depending on exactly what happens.
Yeah.
So another fun-filled prediction show, an extreme prediction show. But yeah, fair play WWE. We were very critical last year, weren't we, at the
without a doubt
horror show at Extreme Rules?
No, the horror show was the year before. Last year's was very much I think. Did you just joke that it was like normal rules?
Pretty much. Yeah.
There's nothing extreme about it,
basically. But yeah, so they've learned from that. So fair play, you got to commend them. But I'm genuinely looking forward to it. It's on a Saturday as well. It's going to be something where I am tempted to stay up for it. I probably won't, but I'll probably watch it first thing Sunday morning, which I don't always do. We do pay-per-view, so. Yeah. We haven't talked about the beer. Let's talk about the beer.
So this week, as a lot of you will know, from our social medias, which I'm sure you are following. Top Rope Tuesday, we like to do each week. This week's Top Rope Tuesday is none other than the Exalted One, Black IPA.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is obviously a tribute, a wonderful tribute, for that matter, to Brody Lee. And again, in previous one, why do I keep the cameras over here? I'm sorry, guys. Right. So we have a fantastic bit of artwork there, and as Carl mentioned, you see the detail in the spider web effects there, with the Exalted One stuff going on. Well, and again, something that I only discovered recently, and I'm shameful that I didn't know it sooner, and something that I want you to know before you go in and buy all them beers that you're going to buy, is that they actually have a match pairing on every can, but on this can here, so this drink is best had with Jon Moxley versus Brody Lee at AEW's Double or Nothing 2020. Mm-hmm. So I love the idea of the pairing. But let's talk about the beer, Carl. You've been drinking it all night. You're starting to get a little bit angry.
Could you tell? Had you noticed from my beautiful top rope glass right here? Look at that. So I think I was hesitant at first. I was like, it's a black IPA, and I poured it, and I was like, looks a bit like a Guinness. And I was like, what is this going to taste like? But it's nice, actually. I was surprised.
I was stressed to those Guinness fans. You have to admit, it's an acquired taste. Carl doesn't like Guinness. He thought it was going to taste like Guinness.
Exactly.
If you're looking for a Guinness, that's not a Guinness.
Yeah, but no, it's actually really, really nice. I can't really place the actual flavors of it. To be fair, I'd be fascinated to see if it says what the flavors are on there. But it's like it's still light, even though you think it's going to be heavy. But it's kind of
grapefruit and pine flavors on top of a robust malt base.
Grapefruit might be what it is, actually. Yeah. So there you go.
It is a really and that probably is like the grapefruit element, but it's a really fresh taste.
It is.
And again, it's like this is. If you like, last week's was a really strong beer. We had the Belgian triple, and that was it 6.0? No, 9.5%.
Yeah.
It was a strong beer. If you like a beer, that was a fucking strong beer. This one is a 5.5. Is it like like pretty much where you expect a beer to be at in terms of alcohol volume. So you can have a few.
Yeah, please do. Head over to topropebrewing.com and get yourself 10% off using the code A2theK10.
And because you're getting 10% off, you might as well buy a few.
You might as well. It's 10% off your whole basket. So do that. Get them.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Also get our merch as well, Pro Wrestling Tees. We didn't say that.
Buy all that. Then you can be sat in an A2K shirt, drinking a top rope beer.
Watching Pro Wrestling TV. So yeah, if you are watching us on Pro Wrestling TV, thank you very much. We appreciate the support. We are happy to be in such wonderful company with the likes of Women's Wrestling Army, with our local promotion, TNT Extreme Wrestling. Got Control Your Narrative, got AAA, Warrior Wrestling, documentaries, all the talk shows.
All the talk shows. As you rightly mentioned, the likes of Women's Wrestling Army and Control Your Narrative both have talk shows around them as well. So there's an absolute ton of content on there, and more being added all the time.
And it's free. Go and download it now. Go and download it from any app store. And obviously, you can even watch it on cable in some places, which is awesome.
So the channel. I know, obviously, certainly for us, I don't know how it works for the US. Certainly for us in the UK, if you have a Fire Stick or subscribe to Now TV or anything like that, you can actually access the Pro Wrestling TV channel.
That's it.
So
it's
many an avenue.
All these places.
Even on Plex.
It's on Plex. Complex. Yeah, not complex on Plex.
No.
Like Dr. Zeus. Anyway, go and get Pro Wrestling TV. Watch us on there. If you watch us on YouTube, also, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Growing in subscribers now.
Yeah, boy.
As well. So thank you all for anyone who subscribes. And yeah, also, our lovely listeners, hopefully you've heard a bit of an audio difference this week. We have this brand new sexy microphone right there. So let us know. Do we sound better? Even more buttery in your ears. Hey. And until next week, we are A2theK, and we're saying bye.